Disco and how it's changing. In the remaining lazy years of the 70s, people were ready for a new sound and a new star. And when both came along in one shining package, the impact was explosive. Saturday Night Fever was an international hit with a kind of rare force capable of starting new trends. Travolta's white suit became the uniform for the young disco dancer. The public rushed to discotheques that had cloned the aura of Travolta's world, recreating the total environment of flashing lights, from the ceiling to the dance floor. Couples were dancing together again. It looked more like the ballroom spectacles of the 40s than the rock and roll set. And the mass media turned the craze into a gold mine. The soundtrack of Saturday Night Fever became the biggest selling album in history, grossing $215 million worldwide. The movie itself brought in over $100 million. Chicago radio stations were soon programming their entire day with the danceable up-tempo beat. And disco even saved Rush Street. When Mr. Kelly's folded, everybody thought Rush Street would head for the beat joints and strip parlors. Live music was gone. And then discotheques sprang up, attracting hundreds of thousands of people down here at night. Millions of dollars was spent on the flashing lights and the sound systems and restaurants to serve the dancing public. And once again, Rush Street got hot. An enterprising promoter put disco on wheels and into the movie. Even the black radio market in Chicago, which has traditionally snapped its fingers to the tune of its own drummer, has been affected by the disco craze. Tom Joyner is a top personality at WJPC in the morning and at the Happy Medium Disco Mondays and Fridays. At both places, he is a disc jockey with a special black disco sound.
Black disco music could be classified as funk. Okay, for instance, like a music like this. That's funk. That's Prince. Hear that funk? Smell it? All right. Funk is a ham hock in your cornflakes. All right, Bill Kurtis, you want some funk? Here is some funk. This is Bootsy and the Rubber Band. Yeah, but dabba do. Yeah, but dabba do. What's up here?
But as the 70s came to a close, so did the disco trend. Within the past year, disco records have dropped in sales from 60 to 70% of the market down to 5%. The disco radio stations are beginning to mix their disco sound with pop and rock music. Many listeners attracted to the pounding beat in the first place found a steady diet to be a Chinese water torture in sound. Disco owners feel people will still come to dance, but the unending thirst for the pounding disco beat appears to have been quenched. In Chicago, as in no other city, disco's demise has been hastened by a curious mixture of a Chicago radio station, clever promotion, and a disc jockey named Steve Dahl.
It's an intimidating lifestyle and culture, and I think there are enough intimidating factors in the world these days that you don't need something ridiculous and absurd like that to make you feel like a jerk, because you can't get into it and slide and hang out and snort pina coladas.
Dahl is talking about a resentment toward disco among the young. He's been exploiting that feeling for less than a year, breaking records on the air and forming an anti-disco army of followers. To his surprise, his phantom radio army turned out to be real. The movement against disco spilled onto the field at Comiskey Park, evidence that Dahl and the Loop had touched a responsive nerve among its young listeners. Not only did it help cut short the disco craze, but it catapulted an FM radio station into Chicago radio history. That report tomorrow.
Who's got the best new car warranty at no extra cost?
Oh. Mary Laney, Channel 2 News from McCormick Place.
Tonight, our second report on the impact of disco music on the pop culture of the 70s. That became a battle between disco music fans and those against the fad. It's the story of a disc jockey and his radio station who tried to kill the disco mania.
Steve Dahl with you.
And Gary Meyer.
And man, we're in trouble again. Look at this.
The two radio men whipped up the emotions of teenagers against disco music. And when they gathered their small army at Comiskey Park, the park lost. That was July. Dahl was barred from Chicago Fest, but the station's promotion manager hawked T-shirts and wound up selling 225,000 to date. In 6 months, 500,000 pieces of promotional material will be sold or given away. By summer's end, it was Chicago radio history. While Wally Phillips is still the acknowledged king of the morning, Steve Dahl has become the crown prince, attracting the biggest share of teens and young adults, according to ARB. They had knocked off the rock giant, WLS, all with an anti-disco thrust and a unique disc jockey.
Tell it. I like to dance with girls in sleazy dresses, lipstick, nail charms, and makeup in excesses. Do you think I'm disco? Am I superficial? Yeah. Look, and it's my only goal.
The sun hasn't come up yet in Chicago, but more than 200 of the faithful have come to the Carnegie Theater to hear and see their leader.
And this is a loop, the Coho Breakfast Club, as we head into the last hour here for a disgustingly rancid Lima Bean Day.
Okay. Any resemblance to the Breakfast Club of Don McNeil is purely coincidental. This is a mixture of high school talent show and Saturday Night Live.
Will it be kept confidential from my parents? The doctor gets drunk and calls people up. Hey, you know what? Hey, this is the guy that's going out with that 17-year-old virgin. Am I somebody that they should know?
No, but we're not in the Chicago guidebooks.
I'm John Drummond, and hey, does this cigar smell bad or what? Come on. You're going to be walking near the Michigan Avenue Bridge. You should be advised that Ted Kennedy is going to be crossing that soon, and be careful, okay? I'm like a girl in high school that puts out for everybody. You know, I'm getting a bad rep. And when I kiss, I just, a lot of people, you know, I'm going to, like Janet and I are going to be romantic or something, I'll just take a little section of an odor eater and chew on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
his radio voice resembles Mickey Rooney, but he looks more like John Belushi. What's so appealing about Dahl? For teenagers, it's that rebellious streak, saying the unspeakable, using sexual innuendos, being irreverent, making fun of anybody. His material ranges from gutter tripe to social commentary.
I guess, basically, I get paid for doing what they used to kick me out of school for, which I think is a wonderful thing. Just being stupid. These are the things I do on the air every day are the things that they used to send me out in the hallway for.
Competitor Tom Joyner of WJPC likes Dahl, but has reservations about his movement.
I've known some people that walk down the street with something on their shirts or on the back of their jackets that says disco, and some of his, what do you call, Dahl's Army or whatever they are, it almost got jumped on and stuff. You know, he could very well be a very dangerous person.
Dahl's anti-disco record has sold 500,000 copies in 3 months. His latest, recorded Monday, capitalizes on another emotional issue.
Ooh, you got a real nice beard, real nice beard. You know it really caught on my eye, Ayatollah. But you know your mind is weird, your mind is weird. You really are a nutty kind of guy, Ayatollah. Come on.
Media critics call him inventive, creative, funny. But his humor is raw, unfiltered, seemingly without limits. And that's just the way he wants it. Breaking new ground in comedy. One reason they can still say,
We have a remarkable radio station.